So this will be the second tutorial for the frame-by-frame animation using Photopea. Just like we left off from part 1, you see you have all of your layers. So I'm going to go to each one individually, click on it. You notice that the opacity was brought down from before to create that onion skin effect that we'll talk about more in class, but I had brought the opacities down to 21, so I'm going to put them back to 100 for each layer. Click on each layer, show it, turn the opacity back to 100 for each one. So you're doing that for each of the layers that you have. Then, starting at the bottom, once you put them back to 100, you are going to now use your paint bucket to start putting in color. At the bottom here, where your foreground color is, you can double click, opening up your color picker, and then you can select the colors that you want. So for example, I could choose a skin color of some kind, okay? And then I could begin to fill this in. And I can do the same thing here. Now you'll notice that when I do that, there's a little bit of kind of like a white halo going around the edge of the black. So I'm going to undo those two steps for a moment and try to fix that by changing the paint bucket's tolerance number at the very top of your screen up here from 40 to, I'm going to do 120 and see if that makes a difference. It makes a little bit of an improvement, so I'm going to use it. You could probably bring that number up to 150, 200 and see how it goes. All right, so I got that. Now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to click on the next. I'm going to hide that one, click on the next layer, and color those things in also on each layer. So hide this one, go to the next one, turn it on, color, color. Hide this one, go to the next one, color, color. Hide this one, go to the next one, color, and color. Then I'm going to hide this one, go back to the original, open that one up. Now what else do I have in here? I have the eyeball and the eye, like the pupil in the eye, so I'm going to change some colors here. I'll choose black as my color. I'll choose that as black. Go to the next one, choose that as black. I'm just making sure I do the same thing on all layers. I could do one whole layer first and then do it, or like you see me doing now. Got to be on the right layer though. Make sure you're on the correct layer. Okay, good. And maybe here I'll add a color of some kind around the eye. Remember what remember what layer you're on when you do it. Got to be on, actually on the layer. Okay, that looks good. So you can see what this is going to look like. I'm going to click on the first layer, turn the eyeball on. The rest of the eyeballs do not have to be visible at this time. I'm going to go up to the word file at the top, down to export, and over to GIF or GIF, right? That's going to create that animated file for you. Now when I click it, it's going to take a few seconds, and up you on here you're going to see the Save for Web dialog box. And I have a couple of things selected here to be aware of. First, the quality is at 100. The speed is at 73, and you can play with the speed. You know, if I bring the speed up to 239, watch how fast it goes. Give it a second and you'll see. And you could, depending on what you think is more realistic, all right, but I'll keep it at 79 for now, just as an example. The other thing is reversing frames and boomeranging, which I'm sure you're familiar with, which just repeats it basically. And the reverse frames puts it in the reverse order of the way I created it. So if I uncheck it, give it a second to do its thing, and you'll see now it's going in it's going close to open, open to close. I mean, it's basically the same thing, however you look at it. And then I could hit save, and it's going to save it as a GIF file. All right. Before I end the tutorial, though, I just want to show you one other thing. And that is, right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers. If I was to take all 5 of these, hold Command on my keyboard or Control on a PC, and click the other layers, I could select all of them. At that point, I could take the Move tool at the top and move them over. Well, I hope you know from Photoshop, when we had you in Graphics 1, that you can copy these layers. So I can drag this whole group of layers down to the New Layer button, and now I have copies of each one. So if I take my Move tool, I have now copied that completely. Now I could also flip it. Remember, Edit and Free Transform. I could right-click. I could flip this. And now I have 2 eyeballs that are identical to each other. So I okayed that. I double-clicked. I hit Enter. Everything's cool. So you can see all my layers now, but if I was to make this into a GIF at this point, the problem would be it would still only show me, watch. Come on. It shows me one eye and then stops and shows me the other. One eye, stops, shows me the other, right? Because of the way the layers are set up here. And you can see it shows this one and then it skips. So what you could do is you could combine layers. So I'm going to click on the background to get away from all the layers. So look over here at the layers panel for a moment. What I want to do is I want to take the eye and the eye and put these two together. And then I2 and I2 together. And then I3 and I3 together, and so on and so on. So you do it like this. You turn on the eyeball of eye copy and the regular eye. Make sure the eyeballs are on next to them, the visibility. Okay. Hold Command, click both of them like that so that they're both selected. Right click, and we merge those two together. I'm going to pull that to the bottom. All right? Good. That one's down there. So then here, I'm going to turn this one on. This is number 2. And number 2 over here. Turn these two on. Hold Command. Select both of those. Those are the number 2s. Right click. Merge those together. Move those down. You could take away the word copy on the end if you want to at the end of this whole thing. Then I go to 3. Turn on 3 copy. Hold Command. Select both of those 3. Right click. Merge layers. And then pull it down. Same thing again for 4. Move it down. And then these last 2. Okay, so everything looks good. They're in the same order, but now I combine the layers is basically all that I did. So when I go to File, Export, and GIF now, you're going to see this behaving at the same time. Okay? So whatever you want to come up with is totally up to you. If you want to, create a background with a face and you want to add all sorts of things to this, you can. The minimum that I want from you, the minimum that I want is 10 layers. We're going to go with 10. I have 5 right here. All right? Any questions, please let me know. And at the end of the project, you are, in fact, going to go to Export as GIF. And when you save the GIF, you'll notice that you have all those settings that I said before. I'm going to hit reverse frames. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. So I did those 2 things. I'm going to hit save. It saves it as a GIF. When I show it in the Finder, I can see the GIF file right here. If I want to see it in my browser, I can just drag it from here right to my browser in Chrome and take a look at it. All right, so I want to see some creativity in this. Go frame by frame and create your animated GIF using Photopea.